Oil change and fuel filter change day on the truck. Spoiler alert, wait till the end. We're going to be analyzing the oil that's in the truck and showing the lab results in the video. This is the oil I run. I've run this ever since I got this truck, and I run this in my flatbed as well. Mobile Delvac Extreme, full synthetic, 1540. I got the AMSOIL bypass oil filter set up, so I run one's the, I forgot which is which, but one's the full flow, one's the bypass filter. The bypass filter is rated for like 6 micron. I'll put those details down below. Truck stock, this is a LBZ Duramax stock. It's 10 quarts, but with the extra filter, it's 10.5 quarts. And then every oil change, I also change the fast fuel filters. Here's the fast fuel filters. Those are just the standard basic ones. And that it's I'm about every 10,000 I'm changing the oil. So definitely overkill for that. And 10,000 I'm going based off the oil life meter and hopefully good test results here from the oil test at the end of the video. 96293 back in February. It is September 22nd today. $105,814 on the ticker. So it's what? That's 9,500 miles, 9521 I think. Oh, and I'll show you the oil life. Oil life is down to 5%. So yeah, 9,500 miles. I'll say 95% of that, 95% of that is highway miles. A lot of light towing. Any kind of medium grade towing was very short distance. Stand by, we'll get this all changed out. We're gonna cut open the filter, the old filters, in a separate video. And again, we're gonna have the oil analysis for this current oil at the end of this video. Here we go. Filters are primed. We'll fire it up, make sure it wants to fire, and then it'll warm up the oil too, so it'll drain easier. Also, before someone asks, I deleted the factory oil filter setup entirely. Let me grab a light. There you go, no factory fuel filter setup at all. The EGR fell off one day too. Da-da-da-da. Here's for our sample. Switch hands. Bam. Alright, before I fill these up and mount them, I was going to show you, but BT237, this is your full flow, and this goes closest to the engine. BD7317, that is the bypass filter, and that goes obviously on that side. I'm going to fill them up, mount them, and then show them to you guys. Alright, here's the old filters, and I was looking, and also, if you get the filters off and you don't know which goes on the front or back, the thread holes are different sizes. So Okay, I didn't really have enough room or patience to film taking these off and putting it back on, but here they are, super clean. Here's the full spectrum, if you guys aren't familiar with this. Basically that puck adapter screws on where the OEM filter would go. Then you got these two like 12-inch long braided lines, and you have those because there's a specific spot they want you to mount this thing for the two filters. And there you go. Like I said, full flow on the front and the bypass filter on the back. So at any one time, the like 5% of the oil's going through the secondary filter. It's just filtering it a lot finer. Yeah, this was the only kind of aftermarket thing on the truck when I bought the truck, randomly enough. We'll fire up the truck, let it run, check the dipstick. Yes, I pre-filled the oil filters. Go on now. I've gone back and reset my oil life, and even though the fuel filter life is reading from the non-existing fuel filter, we're still gonna reset it. Bam. There we go. Engine hours, if anyone cares to know, 5,218. Odometer 105,814. Like I said, 10.5 quarts with the second filter. So, historically I've used Blackstone's lab for oil analysis. However, they take 3 to 4 weeks if you don't pay the faster turnaround time. So I already had the sample bottle, so I used the sample bottle there. So however, I think I'm going to send it elsewhere, but stay tuned for results in 10 seconds. And again, this is the oil that I used in my previous oil change too. So this is this oil. So just for your information. Hello everyone. It's the time we've all been waiting for. This is my 5th try trying to film this video. To start off, I wish more people would do oil analysis on their oil. I don't know anyone personally that does it, and I do it somewhat on a regular basis. I mean, I've done it at least a couple times for every vehicle I've owned. My flatbed I've had for 5 years. I think I've done 3 oil analyses on it, maybe like every 3rd oil change or so. Just because, I mean, that thing's got 211,000 miles, and it's just kind of, I just kind of do it to keep an eye on it at this point. And then this truck, quick story. I forgot if I talked about it in the basic bitch oil change video that I made you sit through up to this point, or not. But bought the truck about 2 years ago. This truck, Silverado. Bought this truck about 2 years ago exactly. I changed the oil like 2 days after I got the truck. Used the same Mobile Delvac Extreme, same 2 Baldwin filters. I stuck with that the whole way through, up to present. Ran that oil for 7,824 miles. You'll see the results from that sample on this chart because I sent a sample from that to get analyzed because I wanted to see what kind of shape the truck was actually, what kind of shape the engine was truly in. Not just how it sounded or felt, but right? Because you don't know until you see this. That's what I've learned. You don't know until you see this. And the results are really good. Results are really good. So Blackstone, this is the only oil sample place oil analysis place I've done. I think it was $45, and if you pay $40, you don't get the TBN, which is like your life percentage. Is how I would explain it. If people don't know, I forgot what it stands. Total base number is what it stands for. And don't know why, but yeah, that's like the one markup. So I pay an extra $5 to find the TBN. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. I got a lot to rattle off here. So really good results. Ran the truck. Oh, and I ran, that was 7,800 miles because I ran the truck down to 25% oil life remaining. And just because I didn't want to go down all the way down to zero, just because I was anxious to see the results for this. Since then, I've gone down to close to zero every single time, and zero oil life remaining in this truck at least works out to about 10,000 miles. As we've seen from this sample is 9,521 miles. Remember the Edge scanner said oil life remaining 5%. So, yeah, that's that. Back up again, a year ago exactly, I had to do head gaskets on this truck. Head gaskets and head studs. And I brought them the oil and the filters, and I had them change the oil in the shop after they did the repair, because I didn't want to leave there, obviously, with oil that had coolant, elements of coolant in it, right? I'm sure they wouldn't have wanted me to leave it like that anyway. So, I think when they changed the oil, there was, this oil pan has that front sump that it's unfortunately known for. And I think there was, this will happen to anyone, but I think there was a half a quart or a quarter something of that oil left in there that had the element from the head gaskets in there, or from element from the coolant in there, that ended up in this sample that I sent off, that you guys watched me send off, based on the results we got here. So let's get into the results. You follow me? Hopefully everyone follows what I just said. Here we go. Class read along. Max, your Silverado second sample looks okay with a couple of caveats. Sodium is high enough to show a little coolant in the oil, but at this level it's just something to keep an eye on. It looks like a slight leak. The other coolant marker, potassium, is low. Coolant didn't cause the oil to overly oxidize. Note low insolubles, or thicken out of grade. The viscosity is actually a bit thin, which is a minor point. No other contaminants are evident, and metals show healthy wear for the interval. The TBN is strong. 11K miles on the next oil should be fine. Just watch the coolant level. So I have to tell myself, right, there's no way I got head studs and head gaskets and there's a leak, right? I got to tell myself that's impossible. And I got to tell myself there was some old oil in that sump that ended up in this oil sample. I'd love to hear feedback, comments on that. So that's the bad news. It's funny that the sodium element is way high, and the other element found in coolant, potassium, they said, is 1 part per million, the same as on the first sample. So, I don't know. They don't seem to worry about it based on their comments. They're saying me to go 11,000 miles, blah, blah, blah. They don't seem that worried about it. They said, basically keep an eye on it. So, yeah, that's the bad news. I don't know. And the other thing, if I didn't do the oil sample, I would have never known, right? Because I didn't top off my coolant. Oil level stayed the same the whole way. I gotta tell myself it was old oil in the sump that ended up in this sample. So that's that. I'm not gonna run 11K miles on the next one because changing oil is so easy. And I don't know what those filters are rated for. It's so easy to just run it down to 0% oil life remaining. That's 10,000 miles. Nice round square number to change the oil at, right? 10.5 quarts, 2 filters, every 10,000 miles. Always ahead of it, right? Easy. So now the really, really good news on the sample is the TBN. So every oil TBN is different from the factory. Now, deep leading up to this video, I looked up MobileDelvac.com, found this oil. They got all the SDS sheets and MSDS sheets and every little detailed fact number you could possibly want. The TBN, straight after you pop the cap, tear the seal off, pour, is 10 point. Of course, now I exit out. I think it was 10.5, right? I don't know why it's not a round number, which is weird. I don't know, but it's 10.5 TBN, total base number. So you're telling me 10.5, then I ran that oil 9,521 miles, and it's only down to 8.2. It lost a quarter of its life, basically, TBN-wise. That's insane. That is so good. So that alone shows how good this oil and those filters are together. So if you have this truck or something similar to this truck, and I would highly suggest this oil and Mobile Delvac Extreme 1540 synthetic. It's a full synthetic, but it's not 100% synthetic, right? Because I understand there is a difference. Because you could say this oil could only be 50% synthetic, but they could advertise it as a full synthetic, right? Versus 100% synthetic is actually 100% synthetic. I'm not sure where I'm going like that. But yeah, if you don't know, now you know. It's a full synthetic. Not 100% synthetic, but a full synthetic. I think like AMSOIL, for example, maybe is 100% synthetic. But that's 4 times the price of this. You could buy this at Walmart, for example. Walmart is the best place to buy this oil. I don't know why. And the reason I started using Mobile Delvac Extreme was because I had my flatbed. I bought that flatbed in 2020. It's got a 4.9 liter Mitsubishi diesel, and that was my first diesel I ever bought. And I found I feel like the baseline oil everyone was running is T6, right? Rochelle the T6. And this was like a very comparable to that. This was like the basically Mobile's version of that. And I just wanted to start running this just to be a little bit different. And like I said, it's super easily available, easy to find. So that's what I started using. And if this doesn't say, I mean, round numbers, 10,000 miles on that oil, and it lost a 0.25% of its life. So those filters must be doing something really good too. Again, those filters easily find those on multiple websites. I buy those on Amazon, right? So I think they're like, one of them's $18, one of them is $15, $33 for those filters. So there you go. If you stayed this late in the video, I applaud you. I appreciate you. Anything you think possibly to comment, please. I'm so curious to see everyone's thoughts and opinions, and I'm gonna kind of mark in the beginning of the video the time if anyone wants to just fast forward to see the results here. But yeah, you guys should do some oil analysis. On the website, plug in your information, get the free mailing pack with the little sample bottle that you saw me use, and then you fill out all the information in a little piece of paper. When you put it back in there with the oil sample, prepaid label, you mail it off, and it was something like 12 to 14 days later, I got the results emailed to me. Credit card gets charged at that time. And yeah, as you can see, you got room for more samples, and you learn some shit that you wouldn't otherwise. So yeah, good news and bad news. Give me guys your thoughts, experiences, questions, comments, concerns. DM me if you don't want to comment. I'm super curious to see what you guys have to say. Thank you guys. Catch you in the next one.